Elliott, we owe you an apology.
I don't know why.
Oh, do you? I don't know why I'm getting mad at you now.
Yeah, I don't.
Bitch, we owe you an apology.
Can I have some of that?
Absolutely.
Oh, wait. Before we do that, we were actually going to have him nick out. Should we just start off with that?
Let's start off with
By the
Elliott
way,
nicking out. You want to nick out?
Welcome to episode 13 of Beyond the Pine. We're here with special guest Elliott Morgan.
Rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, everyone.
Elliott's the biggest rocker I know.
Biggest
He's
rocker.
played the biggest
He knows.
shows this side of Scant.
Redwall.
From SourceFed to Sugar Pine 7, we're going to get into all the differences between the two companies and a lot of similarities, and also what he thinks about both.
Sugar Fed versus Source Pine
That
7.
seems very in depth.
And also what Elliott thinks about boats.
Oh, dude, I can talk about boats.
Myth or real?
Wait, does that have the 12 milligram in it? Does that have the 12 milligram in it?
No, this doesn't. So,
Okay,
Elliott,
so-
this is what we're going to have you do.
It's a
I
rite of
didn't like
passage. It's a rite of passage.
Let me
Was it the
explain
cold one?
what this is versus what that is. This
Okay.
is a 6 milligram of nicotine, and that is 12.
Did he just say
Okay.
racist?
So I need you to say
It sounded a little racist right there. I didn't mean
nicotine. I said
was just a soft-
nicotine. No, I
No,
said
I'm sure you didn't say
6
anything bad unintentionally. It just sounded like you did.
Milligrams of nicotine is what I
It was
said.
a little bit of the racism coming out.
This is a
It was a bit
Manny.
racist.
It's racist that you guys thought it was racist because I didn't say anything.
The heart ones
I
are the
think
heart
so.
ones, and the ears one. So would you like to know the difference between these two types of vapes?
I just said.
Yeah, I would love to.
I just absolutely
Yes.
said.
6
and
milligrams,
Steven.
12 milligrams. This one's going to nick you out a little bit harder, Elliott. When's the last time you vaped? Last time you were here.
Probably when
The
I was
woods.
filming The Woods, yeah.
You were in the woods?
I was for a brief moment.
Who'd you play? Kid?
I play, I think I played James, famous actor James.
James Trout.
Famous actor Giant.
So wait, before you hit that though, make sure you try to take the biggest hit you can. If you feel like you're gonna cough, keep going.
And then if you do cough, keep
I'll
going.
throw up on myself.
You won't throw up, you'll just pass out.
and
And
then
tingle,
throw,
your body will
throw
tingle.
up and choke on your vomit.
It's like smoking cigarettes.
You squeeze it, and I think you guys are responsible for popularizing
Absolutely.
vaping a little bit.
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
not- I think that's a-
H3H3 Productions.
He did start that,
It's
but
a
we
YouTube
have
channel.
been
I
continuing.
met him for the first time because of
Not
you were incapacitated.
Because I was
Oh.
incapacitated.
That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah,
I hung
because
out
I
with
couldn't
him,
do the Smosh thing.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Yeah,
I-
we bonded. Yeah,
That was fun. Yeah, I was supposed to do the...
So that was the.
it's horrible.
It's so harsh.
Oh my god.
So
okay.
don't hit it before. Don't squeeze before you suck. Suck.
Start sucking and then squeeze.
Suck, then squeeze,
Or
baby.
you
feel me?
burn
You feel me, dog?
everybody's
You
ass.
feel
Suck, then squeeze,
God.
dude.
Come on, you can do
You
it.
got to nick out, man. That's for rite of passage here.
Rite of passage. So go hard. Pull it, baby. Pull it. Come on,
It doesn't
baby.
sound like... What's happening with it?
You'll feel that maybe. Oh, he's going for more. Oh no, you wouldn't.
He will not.
He's a
would
thrice.
We should do hot ones, but with vapes with differing amounts of nicotine.
We just nicotine overdose. And we're
You know that feeling when
palpitating.
you can feel your body kind of like it's going to turn on you a little bit.
Yes, it's
This
turning
turns
off.
on you very quickly. Also,
You're trembling.
are you feeling the tingles of it yet?
You feel the worms?
And the head buzz rush.
I'm out.
I think you did a good job. Do you
You did
feel
about
anything?
5, yeah.
I feel nice. Yeah.
Give him a hand.
thanks.
Everybody can give him a
This is
hand.
great. My mom's been in town, and
Don't give yourself a hand.
sometimes you're right.
Little.
I'm sorry, and it was tacky.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. No, I feel great.
Oh yeah.
You keep talking to that camera.
I had
I hope autofocus isn't on.
It's not.
Okay.
For now.
Isn't it?
No.
I'm gonna go for more of that one.
Yeah,
that
this
one's
one's light.
nice.
Do you want to try mine? It's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Mine's
yeah,
the
yours
same.
was yours the one I was going for. Do you want me to reach all the way?
Yours is the one that. Mine's the one that
Here, you want some of that?
you kept
Yeah, go
hitting
for
out of
it.
my
It's a
cock
fantastic
egg.
So
format
humble
I
brag,
requested,
humble
like-
brag. You have a mother,
I do.
and she was in town.
Yeah.
Oh great.
She's in town. She's on her way to
Is
Hawaii.
this a setup for a joke?
to see my
Hawaii.
mom. So my mom, right? She comes into town.
Listen
and,
to this.
You're not
Check
gonna
this
believe this. You know moms, right? No,
moms.
we're having a great time. She's been to LA so many times that there's nothing to do now. I'm not gonna be like, here's Rodeo. So instead, I'm just like, we've just been watching stand-up specials, which only makes me look worse. And I had to explain to her. I was
Because
like,
they're really funny.
they're so funny. Yeah,
You're very.
some of
funny,
these
dude.
comedians are good at what
These
they
are
do.
really good.
But yeah, no, it's been great. But we watched the Seinfeld special.
Oh.
And then I've been showing her Ozark. She doesn't have Netflix. It's a
Ozark's
whole
so
world.
good.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
you,
love
dude.
Ozark. Yeah, Ozark is great.
Dude, okay, because Steve fucking hates it.
He thinks it's so bad.
And
He
doesn't
literally
make
was like
sense.
worst show, or very
And
bad
to say
show.
that worst show.
It's not. No, I don't think it's the worst show. I don't remember what I put on Instagram.
You're
but
like,
it was
this show sucks.
Oh, no, you said
does.
no. You
It
said this show is
doesn't.
not good.
Mindhunter sucks. Did you
Yes, it
try,
does.
Did you say something about
I
that?
I like
agree.
the idea of
Really?
Mindhunters. I don't like the dialogue, and I agreed with you there
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
the
mean,
dialogue. That's
especially
a big
when
part of a show.
very true.
It's a bad show.
If not the biggest, how
Yeah.
the characters speak.
What does
and how they
dialogue
interact.
really matter?
Granted,
dude?
I didn't give it that much of a chance because I started really just cringing out when it was the guy talking to the hippie girl.
haven't seen
And their
this at all.
conversations were so flat and so awkward.
Oh, the hippie girl is like, in case you didn't know, I'm the hippie girl, and it's like the most. She's like her her entire character could be reduced to like a 1-sentence description of who she is, and then they just have sex. Every scene is them having sex.
Yeah, the show's not
I'm not
what I
saying.
wanted it to be either. I wanted it to be
good.
like it. I wanted it to be a lot like the very first scene,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it was them.
Yeah, that was a
just
cool first
solving
scene.
situations.
Yeah. In the first episode, the dude goes from being a hostage negotiator to like an FBI professor to like an on-the-road salesman. Like
Yeah, it was the pacing was really weird. It was like how
Yeah.
much time is going by.
and then it was him, and then
It was like
every
The Dark Knight
other-
Rises in one episode.
I did
Dude,
appreciate it
how
though
much
because the
time-
story
Yeah,
itself
great.
is important.
Great
The
movie,
story of
though.
how they added what was it to?
Did
the
they
crime
depict it well,
units?
though?
sequence killer or whatever, like how they
Yeah.
come up. Yeah.
You know, what would be a cool like a good structure for a show.
What?
Like you know how like Law and Order or like Criminal Minds, it's like they always solve a case like every episode.
Yeah.
it would be cool if there was a really well done show that was similar to that style, like not like just episodic, like oh you can watch this episode and the story doesn't really matter. It's just like them solving this story, but it's done with like a really well produced show and it's like a really good story, but they solve a bunch of cases and shit like that. Like that'd be
I
cool.
know.
Ooh, one show that you should never watch: The Mist on Netflix.
Yeah, I've
On
heard you.
YouTube.
I've seen.
Originally it was-
I saw a tweet from you that
Yeah.
you were pretty. You came under. Sam Basher had disagreed with you.
No,
Yeah.
no, there's a movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because
Oh,
Zach
the
Taylor
movie.
brought
I
up that
gotcha.
he
Yeah.
thought the movie was shit, and then both Sam and I were like, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
really?
Frank Darabont did an amazing job. I think it was Stephen King's the best interpretation of a Stephen King,
Well, he said
More than it.
more so than it easily.
Did he say it was
loved
his
it.
favorite? Yeah.
I
I
liked
loved
it
it too.
I
It
just
was
saw that
unbelievable.
1922 is a Stephen King.
I did not like
novella.
it. Did you watch it?
I haven't yet, but I loved the novella. And
How
I,
did you
his
feel
short
mean
stories.
watching it?
oh, really?
There's a point where you're watching it and you're like, it's not necessary. This is just mean. And then it doesn't feel like it really went anywhere.
Have you seen Mother? Did you see Mother?
We all saw Mother.
I haven't
besides
seen
Kid.
I think
Mother
we
yet.
talked about Mother.
I was
Really
told not to
did,
bother
yeah.
watching
Yeah,
it, but
we
it wasn't
did.
worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
think that's
worth
what we
it.
came to the
That'll ruin
conclusion
your
of.
day. Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
I'm
it
not
will.
like insanely religious.
No,
I could
it's not
maybe
even-
watch it
it's
for
not.
what it is and
not
not
bad.
have like religious like.
For me, it was a bit of that. Like we
Yeah.
talked about this.
But exactly,
we don't have to
1922
go.
makes you feel mean like that.
Really?
Absolutely, it does.
In a good way, like
No.
a,
In
the sense that
In a
they're
way that
aiming
it doesn't
for
matter. In a
So,
way that
right.
there's no cathartic resolution to it.
in the way that Mother like has you like truly like emotionally invested in the story, and then it turns into something that you don't want to be emotionally invested in, but you're already too deep and you feel like dirty.
The sound in Mother. I think we've talked about it. but,
Sound
like,
in Mother was great.
yeah, the sound editing and like the way they use like all that, like
Yeah.
just the creaking
design
of
in general,
everything
yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah,
but-
and like I think that the idea, I'll say this till the day I die. It should have been a similar, like almost like a
need
reboot
to-
of Rosemary's Baby type of thing.
if you're still talking about it by the time you die, you need to let it go.
You need to let it go.
I mean,
Let
that's
it
one
go,
cool thing
James.
about the movie is
I'm gonna say
everybody's
it till
still
the day
talking
I
about
die. What?
I was just saying that's one cool thing about the movie is that everybody's still talking about it. He did his job there.
I know. He got
Everyone's
on
still
about
talking
it.
about
I'm
Mother.
angry.
Stop talking
He didn't
about
do his
it.
job making money for it though.
Wow.
But they marketed it as best as
I
they
like
could.
I dissed Darren Aronofsky in the BTS. I was like,
So good.
or you could do something really pretentious with a horror movie like Darren Aronofsky.
As he pets his $14,000 dog watching that.
Here's a
$14,000 dog? How what dog?
It's just a lab.
A regular dog.
Just an
You
old
just paid way too much for a lab.
a regular door.
Just got
Sounds like a
really
pterodon.
really badly ripped off.
This must be
Yeah,
the
I'm nicked
best.
out. This feels nicky. This
Yeah,
feels-
right.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
one,
so-
like, if you take it every once in a while, you won't feel nicked out. Really, you just get that like
That's
slight
nice.
calming.
I wanted to ask you
Oh, boy.
nothing specific, but you worked on SourceFed. You were part of the best part of it.
Oh, I was part of the best part of it.
Absolutely.
And now you're a sort of a side cast on Sugar Panic Frenzy.
Yeah.
Sugar Panic Frenzy.
So do you notice, I guess, any like similarities between the two companies, or do you notice anything that we could do better? Is there? I'm about to write it down.
Or
'cause
what
I'm trying to
and what
make
we're
notes
doing
for-
better.
No, I think
Perhaps.
it's pretty inherently. I don't think the bar was set particularly high.
By
prior.
SourceFed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it
Oh.
was the first time anything like that had been. Oh, really?
Hey
Well,
guys,
they're
guess
very
what?
different.
Everybody here's a Streamy Award winner.
Oh my God!
Show of the year, right?
Show of the year.
Holy
yeah.
shit!
SourceFed
Hey,
Show of the Year.
us too
yeah,
for
man.
SourceFed.
No, yeah. Oh, really? Where did you also?
I was a PA.
Nice. Well, hey, whatever. I mean,
That's
you're on the
technically
team.
Not during
True.
the Streamy years.
No,
Ah,
no. I was there in the no man's land days.
Yeah. The after the. Well,
Post-apocalypse.
I feel like it. I don't know, man. I don't know any.
I truly don't know. I don't know much about SourceFed's like history too, so I have no sort of
SourceFed was
perspective.
fucking legendary.
It is a weird thing. Yeah, I would venture to say.
absolutely.
That if,
It was some of
it's
the
a
most
big word, but
It was some of the most respected content on YouTube.
It's kind of crazy.
for the
And
longest time.
the longevity and like
Yeah.
to this day, people being like, "Oh, what you did," I didn't know that until till it ended. And I
It was
like,
so
"Oh
sad.
my
Even when it
God."
ended, people kind of, I think, even as a viewer, people were like, "It's not the same, not at all." But it was still so sad. I fucking
remember-
cried watching the goodbye. I even
Oh,
watched.
did you
your
guys
live
know that I
stream.
was crying during that?
No.
I did.
Yeah.
During what?
Well, you remember when we were all doing that? Like, it wasn't. I started crying before that, but it was during the last when everybody was there for the final dance and they sang, the song by Queen and everybody.
Oh,
was
I
at that live
lost
stream.
it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, towards the end, and then right before that, I was like bawling.
Really?
Yeah, when
Good for you,
everybody else
man.
was up on the. Yeah, I finally had a release.
Emotion.
It was hard. Yeah. I felt something finally. Yeah, man. I remember when
Pleasure.
it was like I left in 2014. I remember it being my goal to leave first, and everybody else was like, I don't want to leave first. And I was like, I'll
Why
take
did
the-
you leave? Was it because you knew the ship was sinking?
I would.
Abandoned
Was it
ship?
actually sinking?
It was not sinking.
Did
via
you create the sinking ship?
numbers?
Perhaps.
I like to think I had a.
Were you the cannonball?
I genuinely
Were
think
you the
you leaving-
iceberg that the ship
I'm
hit?
pretty sure that's exactly what happened. Like when you left, it was just like.
when it was
I
the
think
original
what
crew.
they
It was
had
unreal.
They had a business strategy that I felt was short-sighted and incorrect, and so I was like, "Oh, you don't. There's no value to the talent here. It's solely based on like horizontal growth and
Company and higher up growth and,
Yeah.
and financial gain
look,
rather than
if you create 18 channels, that's a lot easier to sell than one.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the mentality behind it. I just wasn't benefiting from it. And from a professional standpoint, I was like,
Yeah, I
oh, I
guess you
can go
weren't-
grow and do other things. And I did that instead.
Revision, the CEO, it might have been the CEO. He wrote an article on how he thought it could have continued working, and it's
Ladder
by
back,
giving
yeah.
the
He's
hosts
brilliant.
equity.
Yep. Yeah, that would have
hell
worked.
yeah. Would have worked very
That's
well.
all
How much
it would've
equity
taken.
would you have taken for it to?
It would have been anything. It would have been
a negligible
any,
amount.
A
yeah,
nickel,
it would have been
a
some
joke.
kind of token of like you're valued as a person instead of this just like, no, you're going to show up. You should just be thankful you're here. And I was like, I don't have to be thankful I'm here. I was like, I'm very good, so I'm going to go. And then it worked out.
Pioneer.
Well,
of the
it
whole
mostly
thing,
worked out.
really.
My Twitter, like my numbers don't grow. My numbers are nothing on the internet, but like in terms of like
Your
leaving,
contribution
I
to
was-
the growth of the whole thing was exponential.
And the
Yeah,
good news
I'm
is,
happy to-
when it's all
that-
said and done, it's not just another money project. This had a lasting impact on a lot of people.
Yeah,
which is
that's
super
the
important.
crazy thing, and that I think will be the thing that I and everybody kind of takes with them because it's great. Like the amount of feedback. I saw something. Do I need to wrap? What do you got? Questions?
No, I have to blur it out, you bastard.
Oh no, he's got to blur it out, you bastard.
Those are my real nudes.
Dude, that's a crazy, creepy. There's nothing worse below your hand than is above your hand.
It
right
is,
now.
and
That
the sad thing is, it's
face.
much worse.
Go ahead, turn it over.
Turn it
Yeah,
over,
let me see
dude.
what we got here.
We're looking at a picture of Kim naked.
so
How would you describe the
Yeah, that's
the
so
penis?
just okay.
What did I call it? Something dick.
micro penis?
I said in the
Rank
video that
dick?
it's like E.T.'s finger and without anyone phoning home.
Oh my god.
and no light up.
No healing ability.
my
No, there's still that.
Only dribbles come.
My favorite is the incredibly flat pinky, though. It's a two-dimensional
Touching it,
pinky,
like pushing it down to
The
show it's
finger's
harder.
just- it looks like
the-
Roger Rabbit when he gets run over by the.
Great, great. Wait, don't put it. I have to blur this all out.
It almost
sorry.
looks like the base of it is not connected to the ball sack. Also, it's very thin to the point just easily you can pluck it off like a flower.
She loves me. She doesn't love me.
She doesn't love me, and now
so
I can't
funny.
get hard anymore.
So, what are some, I guess, tips and tricks you could give to us as a company?
Oh, I'm not your guy there. There's people. How many companies have I run? None. I don't do that. What are you worrying about? I think
do you
you're doing
want
a
from
great job.
She's worrying always.
Vertical progression.
Vertical
Vertigo.
progression.
Vertigo.
I guess actually, what I'm more curious about is, do you see like similarities between the two companies in any way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that the best comparison I heard is
Like a worse version of SourceFed.
No, it was like a Seinfeld to Curb Your Enthusiasm progression, and like this, there's a similar philosophical, like spiritual. I don't know, like now I'm real nicked out, but like there's the same spirit that drove SourceFed, which is a sort of irreverent, very fan first, very like engaged with the audience, seems to have carried on here, and I think that's like the most important thing. And I think it also, cool. I talked to you a little bit about this. Is this like do you guys do serious things on this podcast? Is this
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time.
But not to like
Last
toot
week.
your horn too much, but I think that like there are certain things that happen in the YouTube world, and this is I know nothing. I'm not a successful YouTuber by any chance or any stretch, but like I think people like Casey Neistat, people Miranda Sings. There are people who've done these weird things that have become massively successful. And I think what you're doing with the vlogs and this sort of mix of scripted and unscripted
Alternative lifestyle.
I'm sorry.
No, continue.
Improv-based comedy.
Improv-based comedy. Yes. I think it is. It's exactly what you have to do in order to do what you're wanting to do, which is to create scripted content. Like you have to. I think my guess is you have to create a fusion of the two, and that's what you're doing. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the goal right now, I mean, at least for me, is to never end up being in the things that I produce. I mean, this is years and years and years down the line. So
and that's beautiful.
That'd be nice to not ever have to do.
Dude, I think it's a similar, like, my goal would be to just be able to produce whatever I wanted to produce. Like I'm just trying, everything I'm setting up right now is either trying to like do my next special or do something, but like I don't care as long as like my first special that I did, it was behind a paywall and it was really nice and it was a huge blessing and it was great and it was a good experience. But like the next one, I just want to get out to as many people as possible. And in order to do that, you just have to be like, I'm going to do it myself and I'm going to like call in favors and like make this happen. And it's not going to be perfect. And so when I was doing the Woods and I saw how you guys did it, it was very much in that similar kind of idea. It's like, we're going to make this, we're going to pull this together. People are going to work really hard. You got the right people who are passionate about it. And it's like, that's how you got to do it. I think it's great.
Yeah, you just have to go and do it.
Literally.
It's as simple as that.
I wish I had more profound things to say. You guys
No,
more
that's
of this? Can I
great,
do more of
man.
that?
Absolutely, as much as you'd like, perhaps. You're welcome. Just watch yourself with your tolerance, my
What
dude.
other questions you got? Is that a good question? I feel like
That's great.
Yeah, no,
that's great.
You guys versus, I don't know what the similarities are. You're not in any kind of box. I don't feel like you're not trying to do news, but I also like the news part of SourceFed. That was my favorite part. So when when it started deviating toward just like hanging out and talking, I was like, that doesn't really do a lot for me. I wanted to do like the news commentary. And
To be honest, my entire goal with asking you that question was just so you could tell us that we're funny.
Yes.
Oh, you're very funny. Yeah. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
But you know what I did
Very
love
funny.
about SourceFed was like the format. It was a similar how we do our like scripting and mixed with improv. Like you guys would have much more of a
Yeah.
script, but you would the funniest parts of it where you'd get the information and then the funniest part would be the improv between the
Yep.
hosts.
And
And that's what made it such a magical thing. You'd watch it, you'd laugh your ass off as well as retain information.
Yep, I think that's a very good point. I think a lot of it too is like people are always like, I don't want to see like the news part. I just want to see you like hanging out and having fun. But the only reason like the hanging out and having fun part was like so I think appealing to people was because we established it as a kind of scripted, like we have our edited video, we have our graphics, we have
And it was
the
like hanging
information.
out behind that.
Yeah, so it's like you create a vacuum of that kind of thing, and then when you do drop it in, it becomes a much more like
Just
it
like why
becomes-
they shouldn't have released bloopers every week.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
Yeah, or keep the bloopers, but then don't create a show that's all bloopers, which would
I
be
think,
something
like-
that would be like the challenges or whatever wouldn't be my cup of tea.
Like you can
but
tell
that,
those challenges and all that stuff towards the end were the only things really doing well, which is a clear sign that everybody was like trying to get up the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, and then it's hard to fight like the numbers too. Like because if the numbers on that are so huge, of course you're going to keep doing
Yeah.
those types of videos. It's just not my
Crop a
thing.
tree.
And it
Mark
sucked,
Chaparral,
it sucked
yeah.
because like also as YouTube
That was a
changes,
kid thing that I just
it literally
I'm
like
sorry.
forced you to do those things as well because like that is what got views. If YouTube hadn't changed, I think that the numbers wouldn't have dropped so severely for SourceFed because
don't
like
know,
that's
man.
what the algorithm was not favoring was just news stuff. Like I don't know.
I know, maybe. I think
know?
it's part of it. I think a lot of it is just like people grow up, they stop watching, people leave. The energy, I think, of people change. I know I was dead by the time that I left, and I was just like, this is no, like,
Was it scary to leave though?
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Not as scary as it might be. I was pretty happy to be out, but it was also really sad. The saddest part was Steve Zaragoza. I remember the last day walking out and just looking down at Steve, and he was just like, and I was like, oh, you're going to make me cry. And then I started to cry a little bit, but then I didn't cry until the thing ended again.
Sweet soul.
Yeah, it was nice.
I haven't
But that was
cried
also
many
just a
times
dark
in
time
life.
in general.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
haven't cried many times, but when I do,
You make it count.
it feels good.
It does feel good, man.
Feels
You
good.
should. It's important.
Did you know that actually biologically, and this might be false, women's tear ducts are smaller than men's, which is why girls cry more, because it literally doesn't hold as much tears.
And they're on their period.
I'm gonna go with I don't believe it, but I.
Lauren actually told me that.
Yeah?
She's a woman.
But correct me if I'm wrong.
You know those can be wrong sometimes, women?
What, Jane?
Just women can be wrong.
Just every now and then. Every now and then one will be wrong.
But
I don't
also,
think so, man. For the sake of my relationship,
but also too.
don't fuck this up for me, Elliot.
Correct me if I'm wrong. When women
Absolutely
are
wrong.
going through their period, it does.
Oh, here we go.
Their emotions do get like more sporadic.
Don't ever talk about girls' period.
I'm asking.
That's a hormonal thing, though.
Is that not true though?
Yeah, I think it is, but it's a...
They
just
can
like
be
when you're
more
a
sad
teenager.
or more angry or more happy. Like it's just do it.
And they'll get cravings.
And they'll go.
That's when they're pregnant. Sorry.
Like my mom, like straight up said, she's like,
There's no
I
real.
am incredibly like irritated because I'm on my period. So like, I'm
We're
sorry.
the 4 people that cannot talk about this.
I'm just
White
saying.
men.
I'm saying
White
what a
straight
woman
men.
has told me and has like said that doesn't apply to all women at all.
That's any
but-
guy talking about like girl stuff. Is like, I don't know. I heard from this girl one time that they got tiny tear ducts, and that's why they cry more often. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Not just
I'm
some
like, you're
girls.
pissed.
So when you first met us, did you think we were sexist? Like, what's your first impression? I mean, we met. It must have been towards the end of SourceFed, I think, because we did the table talk together where we kissed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we met before
I forgot
that.
about that. I saw a photo of that today.
Same.
Some
That's-
bot favorited a thing, and I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh,
Someone bought it.
Even the machines love it.
someone bought that
bought it
photo.
out.
Framed it.
So I think before that, I had seen you at this. It was Zaragoza's surprise birthday party. I got there towards the end because that's how I do things where I completely miss it. And then I remember an interaction with you that because I've always, at least before we started actually talking, I always felt like I looked. I mean, I always felt like I looked up to you.
I'm so sorry.
I always felt like
You
I
should have
looked
done
down
that.
to you.
Aw.
That's really sweet.
more so like not threatened, but what's the word?
Inspired?
Intimidated.
I mean, a combination intimidated, but also inspired.
dude, I get that. And the only reason I finish your sentence is because I get that a lot.
I'm sure you've heard that. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've heard it.
And I feel really bad about it.
I'm sure you farted.
I'm
I don't
sure
feel
you did.
bad about
No,
it. I think
it's
it's because you present yourself in such like a really just a smart. I mean, look at your glasses. Goddamn.
I know. The glasses are really
There's
hitting
a
the nail
thing
right on the head. No, dude. GlassesUSA.com. still.
Ray-Ban.
GlassesUSA.com/
That's why do you spell
Flush
that?
out, what
Crap.
was it?
Mean Bean glasses. I'm making them.
I
So-
did have it. I can go in the email, but yeah. No, I get that a lot. I think it's I don't know why. I think I don't. I get very nervous around people. I don't entirely, enjoy
Social interaction.
many social interactions.
Samesies?
Yeah. But I also just like I don't know. I default to thinking that no one wants to talk to me. So I'm never like, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Like I'm just like.
No, absolutely the same. And I remember having because I hadn't really ever talked to you before this, and we were at that. It was the after party thing right in the other room outside of the comedy stage. I was going up for a piece of cake because someone mentioned there was a piece of cake over there. Like there was a bunch of cake, so I had to go get
One
it.
piece of cake.
Yeah, there was one piece of cake just for me. So I went over to the counter, and I like looked at you, and then I think we locked eyes for 2 seconds, and then I was like, and then I went back to the cake, and then I don't remember if you came over to me or if I came over to you. I think I came over to you, and I was like, oh hey man, and you're just like, hey, what's up? And then
yeah, I know exactly the moment you're talking about. There was a little bar, right? There was a tiny
yeah,
little bar.
and that's where the
boy.
cake was.
There was a little ball boy.
Serving cake. Only one piece for the whole group.
And then
Gotcha.
And then you came over for a second and you were like, hi. And then you're like, well, okay, bye. And
Yeah,
I was
because,
like, oh, did I? And then I thought I offended you because that's
No.
what I defaulted to. And I was like, what did I say to upset Septic? And then I ran through in my head and I was like, I don't think I said anything bad, which is rare. And then, but yeah, so that's funny that you
so here's
remember
from
that.
my
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. That,
We were talking and I was like, oh God, I have nothing interesting to say. I'm gonna lose him, and then he's gonna be gone from my life forever. And then I
very nice.
remember
I
picking
feel
up the
very
cake and talking to you, and we were just whatever we said to each other was so minuscule, and it was like a couple sentences, and it just died almost immediately. The fire was gone, and I
the spark was out.
I like looked over to a couple other people because I saw Jeremy and I don't remember who else was there, and then I was like, all right. Let's go see it. And then I just walked
Yeah,
back over
I
to
thought
them
it
and I
was
was
a
like,
bit.
guys,
I thought you
I
were doing a
just
bit.
fucking fooled myself in front of Elliot.
That's so
and then I
funny.
like looked back at you and you were still like looking over at me. And I was just like,
No, I
oh, he
didn't
knows
know.
I'm talking about him. Fuck.
Oh, I definitely didn't know that.
Dude, you
No, I'm
totally
way
fucked
too-
that up.
hilarious, dude.
That's two people who are very aware of how they're coming off, not at all concerned about what's actually happening in the moment. Like I remember being completely not present after that because that was the roast, right? We roasted Steve.
Yeah.
And so that was already. I had put all the. Was that? I think it was after the roast.
It was after
too.
the roast because I missed the roast.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that was fun.
I heard it was really funny.
yeah. It
Really?
was. There was some dark jokes that
Oh,
happened.
good.
I heard Bree killed him.
Bree did some stuff.
Or was it Lee? Or was it you?
Lee.
Or was it Will?
Lee did some
killed
stuff
him?
that I thought was doing. I thought no. Will
can see
took
her
the
going
mic
in hard.
and paced and got, and then I think he turned his. I think he did most of his roast to the people who were roasting it, and then Mike started it. Then it was me, and then Will, And then Lee got up and just like destroyed.
It's a shame that no one was allowed to film that. Because, I mean, also that makes it better that nobody did.
It did,
because
yeah.
Now
because
it's in everyone's
we
memory.
cleared it. I think I remember
Besides
asking
mine.
Bree because I was like, I had some jokes that I just wouldn't want people to hear me say to
So,
Steve.
what was your, I guess, first impression of us in general?
Well, when I first met him, it was entirely as a fan, and it was because you brought me to that thing, that read you had to do with Ronnie Donianier from the movie.
Dude, what?
You did do a read, like a script read with all those
it was
guys.
the Lost one, right?
Yeah, it was Lost.
That's Steve Zerg.
Oh, right.
You,
yeah,
you
we
were
had that,
you were afraid to go by
that
yourself.
was Joe Bereta.
So I went with you. No, you were there. Were you not there?
I don't know what you're talking
I know
about.
Joe was there.
Elliott was not there. It was just Joe.
You weren't there at all.
It was
There
just
you go.
Joe.
That's
When did
why
I
I
meet
don't
you for the
remember.
first time?
You're just purely thinking
You
of Joe
may have
Bereta.
never
Sorry,
met me.
I like Joe better. No, I'm kidding.
No, me too.
No, I'm
He's
totally
right.
I thought you were
When did
Joe
we
this
first
whole
meet,
time.
though?
He thought he was Joe Bereta this
You're not
entire
Jo-
podcast.
Who is this? Elliott? I liked Elliott too, but I thought it was Joe. Thanks,
I
Elliott.
don't remember where you met Elliott. I don't think you ever did.
You may have never met me. You may
Was
have
it
just thought
here
you-
first? No, I
Until
absolutely
today, you haven't met him
somewhere.
until today.
Was
No.
it VidCon? Would have been VidCon?
It might have been VidCon. I've met him outside of SB7. Absolutely.
If it was VidCon, it would have been me walking around with Joe, and we probably were drinking.
No, I don't think that was it. Unless it was maybe, did we go get drinks somewhere?
I don't know, but I feel like I can speak for everybody here because I'm sure I had the same reaction upon learning like who Elliott actually is, where you feel that sort of intimidation.
We went to his house.
Where because he represents himself so, oh, that's true. That's exactly where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Where he represents himself in such like a, I mean, it's because you are a very smart, a very,
very nice, thank
very
you.
funny man.
Good looking.
Good looking as well.
Kind.
Beard really
Wow.
does it for you.
Kind.
Holy shit.
I remember the first time I met
Kind.
Joe Bereta.
Dude, the beard
But
changed
then
my
actually
life.
upon like talking to you and being around you, you're so open and so just
Oh.
genuinely kind.
That's
and
very
it's
nice of
very
you to say.
Yeah,
interesting
you and I
to-
bonded a little bit.
That's a
shooting
lot
the
of
woods.
well, I went through my life tanked, and so then after it tanked, now prior to my life tanking, I was much more reserved, and now I just like I have very little. You know, I used to keep everything bottled up, and now I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like,
No.
here's my.
Are you happier now, would you say?
Oh, about 1,000 times. Yeah, I did.
sure.
Sorry for that. I did my like stand-up hour, but I had my mom there, and it's very like I go through like the religion, and I go through divorce, and I go through like details in that, and like sex stuff, and I was like, man, I'm doing this like like 4 years ago, I never in a million years would have like swore around my mom, and now I'm like, there's a part where I
Pussy.
yeah, that kind of thing.
bitch.
Yeah, and that's all my material. It's
Does
just
she
me
get it?
saying
Like,
those-
does she understand? Or
I think she does for the most
She
part, but she
offended?
she doesn't like the swearing, you know, and she's very
course,
just
my
like,
parents
use
hate it
your
too.
words. Yeah. And I'm
she's
like,
like, swearing doesn't add anything to it. I'm like, I disagree. Sometimes
Yeah,
it does.
exactly.
And now we're gonna cut to a mid-roll. Brah.
I was going to say a funny little story. The first time I ever met Joe Bereta, because I remember I met you super briefly at SourceFed.
was I walking over? Hey.
Yeah, I think it was the day that
That
you
was
came
so
to the Total
weird.
Talk.
That
I literally
was
was
the
just like, hey,
weirdest-
what's up, man?
After I left SourceFed, there was a weird thing that would happen where there was like a lot of like pomp and circumstance that would happen, and that would always make me a little uncomfortable.
Like
I got
when you
called a
come back?
racist
Yeah.
When?
So funny.
towards the end.
Twice. Also, Steve Zaragoza called you a racist in 1950.
That was great, though.
That was a funny.
that one
yeah,
made
that was
sense.
like a
No, I
funny
know,
joke.
I was joking,
But like there are
but
people who
still
genuinely thought you were racist just because you joked without caring as much.
Like,
Yeah.
just be more open-minded and
It's
know
like
people
especially-
may
yeah.
not be racist because their version of what's funny is different from yours. Just
My-
be more open. You
My
can be
thing is
offended,
like
but
I
chill.
think everyone's a little racist, and I think everyone's a little sexist. So when those moments flare out and they're shown, or they like you can bottle all that stuff up and you can pretend to be this like perfect person, and that's what happens with everybody on the internet. They're like,
Yeah.
especially on Twitter, everyone's just like, I'm so pure and good, and like the president just represents all that is evil and wrong, and thank God he's so evil because I'm so perfect, and it just creates this like totally inaccurate like self-image for people. But it's like if you have people who just make jokes and out comes a little inappropriate stuff every once in a while that's done in like a jovial, fun manner, it's not maybe the best thing in the world, but it's certainly better than bottling it all up
Yeah.
and pretending that you're this like
Because
holy
then you're
person.
always on edge and you're always like, oh, I have to make sure that I keep up this persona. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and then if you slip up, you're just like, you have to be the person who's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for making
Yeah.
that joke. I was so insensitive. And it's like, yeah, I was insensitive. That's what jokes are. They're supposed to be insensitive.
yeah. Do you remember when Jonah Hill actually, I think it was like a few years ago, he was angry. I don't know if it was on set or if it
No,
was
it was just out in public, I
It was in
think.
public. And somebody like, I
Yep.
forget, but he called somebody,
A faggot, I think.
Yeah.
Or sorry, but yes.
yeah, no, I mean, that's what he said.
You're
Yeah.
reciting. Yeah. You're
Thank you for
inciting
saying
anger.
it. I was
word.
going to say thank you for saying it. So if anything
Anytime.
ever happens, it's your fault.
Elliott.
we're shut down because of this man.
yeah.
No, and then and it was like, then he like went on, I think it was Tonight Show or something, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel or something, and like made a public apology about it. And it's like, if you're doing it out of anger, that's one thing. If you're doing it out of joking, it's one thing. And it's just
Yep.
like, there's no line anymore. It's like they're one and the same now.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom about this after she saw my hour, because I talk a lot about, I have a segment in the middle where I talk about the C word, and I talk about how powerful that word is.
Cock.
And even though, like, cock, yeah. And how much I love it. It's
How
just
much I love
like
cock.
how the different sizes and the shapes and colors.
And flavors.
Oh my goodness.
And smells.
And textures too. If you get a good one, it's got a little bump in it. Yeah, I was talking about like words are very. She's like, words are important. Words have power. And I was like, yeah, but more than that is like language itself and context and like
Context matters.
knowing the
That's something I always
scenario. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
I don't know. I learned from being called racist and all that even though I think a certain way and other people think a other way, that doesn't necessarily mean that my way is right. And even if I do think my way is right, that doesn't mean that there's no way to peacefully coexist with that mentality of like, no, you need to believe what I believe.
Oh, never.
No, it's
Right.
like what we were just saying is that you have to know that like they're allowed to be offended and have every right to be offended. They can defriend you on Facebook.
Yeah, easily that's what it really boils
love
down to.
that.
And that hurts.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you totally. It's like there needs to be more of just like you just don't think that way.
Yeah, there's also like
It's okay.
There's the flip side of it is people just like freak out over political correctness. Like that's like the biggest issue in the world. Like we have I think a president as a result of people being so tired of needing to be politically correct. And I'm like, that's sad because you're voting for someone who can affect a lot of really poor people's lives, and you're doing it out of not wanting to feel bad about saying certain words. Like I don't think that's I get it. I think it's an important conversation to have, but it's just like I'm exhausted with like I don't care about political correctness, and I'm like, yeah, man, if you don't care about it, why are you talking about it so much? Like,
And
why
who
don't
the
you just go
fuck-
live your life and say what you're going to say and take the consequences that come with
Yeah,
it?
and then because people are going to see if you're not being politically correct, people will be like, oh, he's not being PC. And it's like, yeah, I don't have to say like, I'm this way. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, who the fuck gets to decide what's politically correct? And it also changes
Just tides change.
Like,
Yeah.
think about what was politically correct 30 years ago and what will be politically correct 30 years from now. It changes.
I was thinking
Be
it starts
open-minded.
Ron on 3rd Street who gets offended by something, and that's how the tide changes for the
oh,
whole
little
world.
Ronnie once
Absolutely.
again.
The good news is, I mean, it's not exactly good news, but people aren't as much focused on political correctness as they are celebrities coming out of the woodworks now.
Thank God.
Dude, it's falling.
Real quick though, I was just going to
It's
tell my
crazy.
story of when I first met Joe Bereta.
Oh,
Story
please, yes, I'm
time.
so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's all good. It was actually at it wasn't the premiere. It was like I think it was like opening night or the night after at ArcLight
remember
in
this story.
Hollywood. And I parked like down the street because I didn't want to pay $3 for parking, obviously. And so I was walking and I saw Steve Zaragoza. And then, like, he was like on the curb and he was just doing something funny, like seeing me cross the street. He was just like, I was just like, ah.
Even your
Bull Steve.
impression of him just makes
He just makes fucking noises that are just like he used to do this thing on SourceFed where he would just go and I would just be like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so I just saw
He's
him.
the funniest human being.
No, he's
absolutely.
he's-
Absolutely, hands
golden.
down.
hands
He's
on
a
the
golden
funniest
boy.
person that has ever
genius.
existed.
Yeah. And so I just saw him and I was like, what's up and stuff. And I was like, oh, did you see it? He's like, yeah, I saw it for like my 9th time. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm so excited and shit like that. So I went into the ArcLight and I went up and I was waiting in line to get a drink at the concessions in the upper part. And I look over to the line next to me and I was like, I think that's Joe Bereta because we'd never formally met.
Yeah.
And then like, it was one of those things where similar to like you guys is like meeting eye contact where like, I was just like, and he was just like,
Stop looking.
and then like we just like it was a pause and I just was like, ah, fuck it. And I walked over. I was like, Joe, and he was like, oh hey, what's up, man? And I was like, yeah, we've never met, but like we know of each other, I'm sure. And then he was like, yeah, dude, like I know like blah 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 and shit. And we were just like shooting the shit for a little bit.
Yeah, Joe
He's
is
a nice guy.
Joe's one of the best people I think that exists in the world. Also a genius in his own right. I just wish he was on camera all the time more than he is, but you know he's doing his thing and he's doing really cool shit. But like I want him like he's probably the most humble person also that I've ever met.
He
So
really
for
seemed
something
like
that-
glue in your group. That could stick
absolutely, yeah.
the-
He was the head writer. Like he kind of and we kind of all wanted that to be the case, which is a rare thing. You know, it wasn't like a competitive thing. Like I was very like, no, please like do it. And he just took it. He knew the direction that it should go in. He knew all of our voices. He knew
Yeah.
how to make us all like punch up things the right way. Like there's just a high. He brings a higher quality to like whatever he touches, and that's a very cool thing. I wish he wasn't. I'm trying to think of a joke, trying to think of something negative to say about him because I know he's going to listen to this and he's going to be like, "Thanks for saying all this nice things." So I got to say something to
Joe would listen to
disqualify.
this?
Small pee-pee.
He probably if
Joe
you
would
yeah
listen.
if you add him he'll listen to it 17 times.
That's
But,
how
yeah.
I'll promote it. All right.
There's the deprecating.
Joe Bereta, watch this is the title.
Yeah, Joe Bereta, please let us know what you think of this.
Featuring Joe Bereta.
It's just a picture of me. Yeah. What else you guys want to talk about?
Oh, well,
Cars.
we do a
Railroad.
segment and I don't know if he's here, but we usually have.
Before we do that, iTunes reviews.
Not this week probably.
Yeah.
Because Elliott's here, but next week definitely. So that reminds me, the podcast is available on iTunes. Sorry, I didn't upload it on time the other day, but it's gonna be on time this time. And so if you want to leave a review, preferably 5 stars.
Just at Elliott the reviews, all of them.
Please.
We have a new deal where we put the podcast up 3 weeks earlier than when we shoot it on Musical.ly.
Yes.
It's just a 6 second. Is Musical.ly last like? Isn't it like
it's like
really
a
truncated.
Don't you just like lip sync the song and shit? There's a bunch of
People get
14-year-olds.
so
downloaded it
big on Musical.ly. Go to the top people, 22 million followers, 30
Yeah,
million
it's
followers, and they're
insane.
just like 3-year-old kids going, "Design the Eagles," and that's it.
Design the Eagles.
And that's it.
I love that hit song by Stradivarius.
Dude.
A little bit of truth to that joke, though. Their podcast is available a day early on Rooster Teeth First. So if you do want to get these little tidbits quicker, please sign up. Please sign up for Rooster Teeth First.
We got
There's
some
more
good
reason
shit.
to.
We got
Yeah,
some
we
good
have
shit on
bloopers.
there.
We have a gaming series that we do every week, and there's tons more content to come out on that website, and that
Yeah.
helps us so much. Elliot, don't laugh, please, because we need this.
I know.
God
That's
damn
what
it.
makes
I was
me
in a
laugh,
terrible
like,
car accident.
Clearly. please, if you could sign up on Rooster Teeth, like it really helps.
I'll even pay for it. Sign up.
I'll PayPal you. Just let me know.
So, with that being said, we got past the similarities between the two companies. We want you to do a whole set,
We were going to get you to do your whole hour set,
and then Kib's going to do his set.
and then I'll do mine. Do one joke, then I'll do mine. Okay? You
Kind
got
of like you do
60
8 bars.
seconds for your
He
joke.
does 8 bars.
I used to. It's more of a story.
That's fine.
I used to work at an animal hospital.
I love
as a
stories.
Veterinary technician. Here we go. It was great. At the same time, I worked part-time as a character at Disney World. I was Goofy at Disney World. And towards the end of my tenure there, I started talking to the children inside the Goofy costume.
You brought the children into the Goofy costume?
I invited them in, opened a little door, said, hop on in. Got
There's
some
a lot
cookies
of
in
room.
here. And so there was this one time where I'd been there for a while, and they frown upon you talking to the kids, but I was
they
bored,
should.
and because it kills their dreams.
I encourage it.
And I was
So you were
taking-
talking like in your voice.
in my voice. So I had this little kid here, and I had my hands out because they had
Smoking a cigarette.
I was smoking a cigarette
Stop,
just out of
kid.
Goofy's mouth. I
Kid,
just
don't
let
ruin
it.
a set. You're a heckler right
So
now.
sorry.
And so I leaned down to the kid, and I'm like, I said, this is verbatim, and it's all very true. I go, hey, I'm Goofy, and I can talk. And I didn't use his voice or anything, and I didn't commit to the character. And then the kid turned to his mom, and he was like, Mom, Goofy's talking like a snitch. And then I'm like, I'm going to get fired now. And then the mom was like, the mom goes, sure he is, honey. Goofy can talk. And that very condescending motherly tone. But I knew I was safe at that point, so I leaned down to the kid, and I go, you feel that right now? That's the feeling of your parents not really understanding you. You're going to want to get used to that. Yuck. And I pushed him away. I shoved him
And then
away.
I punched him in the face.
There's more inappropriate parts to
so
that, but I'm
funny.
going to leave it out of the podcast. But well, if you want a one-liner, I don't know what my ethnicity is. I asked my dad when I was a kid, and he was like, I don't know, Republican. There's a one-liner where I say, I want to create a Game of Thrones style dating app where if you go through and you don't like the person, you swipe left and they die. If you do like them, you swipe right and you get lunch or whatever. And then it turns out they're your sister. And there's
Incest.
let's see, what else is it? One that I like to open with a lot is I go, the worst part about having sex with someone that you don't know or care about is when you're finished and they look at you. Anyway, what's going on with you guys? That's a fun one.
So we actually
Yeah.
Kib's been training for a little bit for
this
this
moment.
podcast specifically. He has a set, and he also has some one-liners.
Can please lay it on me.
Do you want the story, or do you
So
want...
think of this as more of like a battle than anything.
Oh, I wish I'd known. I would have not done my entire hour like I just did. That's
Do you want the one-liners first, or do you want the story first?
Let's do the story first, and then we'll move on to the one-liners.
Okay. Well, this one's fucked, and you guys have maybe heard this one.
Yeah, we have.
I can't wait.
I got 10 touch of pennies.
Out at a golf course,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working the.
You sucking then?
I'm sucking in, and I'm working at the
What was the
golf
question?
course. I'm at the golf course. There's me. There's a family coming in at the golf course. I'm at the golf course too with the family. The family and I are at the golf course, and we
So
both.
who all is at the
Elliot,
golf?
don't
course?
heckle
Me,
him.
It's
Sorry.
the golf course, and it's the family. And the family comes up to me.
Dude, wait, no,
That's
this
good.
is
That's
the best part.
solid.
No, 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 it gets,
The family
it
comes
gets-
up to me. Wait for the big finish, please. The family comes up to me, asking for things. There's me. There's the family. There's the golf course. The family comes up to me with the golf course there. The family. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand, dude.
Imagine opening the.
Dude, I think that is hysterical. Because
I mean, if they
Oh,
can-
you wouldn't get it.
Oh, you guys
I
wouldn't get it. Never mind.
That's the end of his whole set. Just walks out.
Thank you guys so much. I'm Elliott Jordan, and I'll be.
Okay, let's hit them up with some one-liners.
Okay, well, I thought my parents asked me what my ethnicity was, and it turns out they didn't, and so it was so awkward.
Okay, hit him up with the one about
just did an echo of like somebody else's set, and you didn't have no punchline.
Right after.
do the bounce castle one though.
Okay, so there's the reason I like bounce castles is because when I'm jumping on them and they up and then it's fucking they flatten out every time because I'm too big for them.
Whale with the whale.
So there's 3 whales in the pond and one is blowing up the thing and I'm boating past. I says to the whale. He says to me first and then I says to the whale. I says, "That fucking blow, dude."
Oh, all right. Well, we had a good thing going there first.
What do you guys think?
It fell off at the end, but I really like the bit of having no punchline.
one. All right. Well,
Oh, I mean, it was good. I liked it.
Agree to disagree.
It's hard, man. It's hard to do a joke that's like for stand-up when you're not in stand-up.
I was just gonna say, did it
or
feel
doing
weird,
it.
like? Did you actually have any anxiety of the pressure of us going? Okay, tell us jokes.
Oh, I hate it. It's the
Have you
worst
ever done a
thing.
joke
Yeah.
on a podcast before, or do you save those purely for? Well, it's nice to be taken out of your element, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you have people
Challenges
that like
are fun.
ask you like who know that you're a comedian? They go up to you like, "Oh, tell me a joke. Like, be funny."
Yeah, I get that. That's not fun.
Dude, this is my friend Elliot. He's a fucking comedian. Dude, be funny. He's
It's
so
yeah,
funny.
people who like
be funny.
aren't- if they're not in, I think if they're in any kind of like entertainment, then they don't do that.
Yeah,
but
true.
if they're
Then they're
not,
not
then they
idiots.
don't know, you know. And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
no,
and then I'll
they
say
know.
it. And,
They know.
Yeah,
They
they
know.
probably do.
I have a quick one-liner. Not even a one-liner. It's just I think I would be a funny little topic to talk about in a stand-up. And I wrote it like several years ago. I took an art of comedy. What? Took an art of comedy class in college, and one of the projects was doing a stand-up routine. And I didn't do this in it. I thought of it afterwards, but it'd be funny like Eminem, like when he's writing his new album, and the only person who's in the house with him that he could like be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" is his daughter.
That is funny.
Because like all the sexist shit he writes about.
Yeah. It's a premise, so there's not. It's not. It's not. You know.
laughing to be nice.
It's not a one-liner.
Yeah. It's a setup. It's
Just
good.
like stumbled over. Like,
That would be good. That would be good.
Because he has a lot of misogynist.
You I would try to get you on a show myself at the Improv, like the one that we do on
And I'd go
Mondays.
right after you.
you're the open.
It's fine, yeah.
Elliot opens
mean,
for you.
Yeah, I would do. Oh my god,
like
I do it in a
reverse
heartbeat.
opening.
Are you kidding?
and
Yeah.
then get me in there
Dude,
for
I'll
my
fucking
joke.
do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
yeah, man.
Should I heckle?
No,
I'll be the guy in the audience that you
do-
set up to actually do a joke off of.
Oh, like
And
a
what you do
plant,
is you
like
give
a.
me your whole set, and I have it in paper, and I just butcher it every single time.
We do that. We'll go to back in the day. Mike and I would go to like Foul Zone, and I would go to open mics, and we would just do each other's material because we didn't care anymore, and that was really
so
fun.
funny.
It's a night, and we would make fun of each other's jokes as we're making the jokes, and then sometimes it would get better.
So Elliot has this stupid fucking joke about a fucking 3 kids, and they're
It was a
so,
lot of that.
They're fucked. They're so fucked. Anyways, here's my jokes.
Anyway,
Being in a comedy, because you're, I would say, is it a comedy group or what do you call yourselves? Do you have a name?
friends.
A traveling troupe.
We call ourselves friends.
Easy answer to an easy question.
Yeah.
Traveling
Is there-
gypsies, perhaps.
Is it weird to be in like a friend group that also does comedy together at the same shows? Do you
Yeah.
guys have like weird qualms that other friend groups normally wouldn't have?
Is it
I was
joke
curious
theft
about that for a
mostly?
while. Have you ever experienced joke theft? No, you shouldn't admit to that. But do.
There's been there's cadences that we'll accidentally pick up from each other.
We do that
There's-
here.
Or
all
a
the
point
time.
of view, maybe
Yeah.
that like you didn't have that was a similar point of view to somebody else.
Point of view, not so much, but Mike sometimes will end. Mike
Just Mike
sometimes will
steals jokes.
end. Yeah, Mike sometimes takes things from me. No, he'll end a
Money.
joke and he'll be like, "So it was different. So it's not," and he'll just attack. It's not a punchline or anything. We'll just throw it in. And I found myself doing that on stage, and then afterward, I was like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry." And then I'll hear like different, there's references and stuff. There'll be like pop culture references that'll end up bleeding over into each other's jokes, which is kind of fun. But it's not nothing like malicious or
That's
It's
anything.
so
still kind of fun
natural.
because you all want each other to succeed. So like using little bits of each
Wow.
other. Never mind.
It's like a natural thing though with friends. Like we
Yeah.
we do that all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
if
we're
you hang
like-
out, I mean, yeah, you become It's
especially
like,
if you admire like a certain sense of humor of your friend or whatever, or like you guys vibe so well and shit, it's
Yep.
like super natural for it to just wear off.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
And
totally.
for me to take my underwear off.
Yeah.
Can you, by any chance, call him in? Can you call?
I'd rather not.
Well, we have this segment we do. It's for some reason we keep doing it. It's not our decision. It's mostly based on comments, where we bring in one of our coworkers. Would you say coworker-ish?
I would say more of a squatter.
Squatter.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Indentured.
Have you
man.
met him yet?
I don't think I actually have. If I did, I just saw him roaming around, but I don't think I.
Rummaging through the trash.
Yeah. and he
Well, what
got-
we're going to have you do, hopefully, if he decides
Gnarly
to show
look
up,
to him.
is ask. Well, we have viewer-driven questions
Okay.
that we're going to have you read to him, and he'll answer them appropriately, and maybe you guys can have a conversation
Oh,
back and forth.
I would love that. Yeah,
You don't
it
have to
would be
leave him
nice
in
'cause
the trunk if
It's a
you don't
similar
want
thing.
to.
I'm kind of intimidated, but
Yeah,
No,
of
don't worry
course,
about it.
as you
Autumn
should
usually
be.
does it. You're our
our
Autumn.
Okay,
All right,
great.
I'll call him in. Alfredo. Alfredo.
Get in here, idiot.
Alfredo. Jesus
Is
Christ.
he even here?
I don't think he's here. Oh, it is kind of late. I'll call him.
Yeah. He could be here soon. Oh, he's here.
I'm a ghost. It's Halloween.
Good God, dude.
It's not Halloween anymore, big boy.
Yes,
This is only going to be difficult for you.
Elliott,
Hello.
my
How are you?
somber cool. Your little camel's back. Do you have your camel toe ready?
I don't have a camel toe ready, but I have some questions I can ask you.
I'm so sorry, dude.
No, this is nice. Alfredo, is it?
Correct.
Hold on, say it again.
No.
Just.
Oh, is Alfredo's your name? Oh, wow. Okay.
Say
Yeah.
it louder. Say my name, bitch.
Alfredo. Oh, that felt sexual.
Sexually harassed.
Yeah.
It's pronounced
Yeah, I'm so
Alfredo.
sorry.
Oh, okay, Alfredo.
Thank you.
I have a question. This comes from number 2 on the email. Hi, Alfredo. I went on a date recently and accidentally opened my door into the car next to me.
Oh
Instead of owning up, I moved my car to a different spot so nobody would put 2 and 2 together. Turns out that the car belonged to the girl I was meeting. I still haven't told her, and we're going on a second date in a week. Should I tell her, or am I good? Thanks, John.
When I was first driving my Mazda Miata, I had hit 2 families, all in one intersection. They had been crossing. It was a parade. I was in the middle of the intersection, had just gotten smeared the blood off of my car window, and I saw the broken arm of a girl, bone jutted out, extended, distended, her belly distended. Turns out, 14-year-old pregnancy. I had killed her and the baby inside.
Good God, Alfredo.
And you know,
Wow, Alfredo.
a very similar experience to hitting a car door against the car next to it. And I think it's the same approach. It's the one where I ran over a whole school of children, including a pregnant
Yeah, you said
14-year-old.
You don't have
Yeah,
to
we got that.
reiterate.
We
Yeah,
got
that
that,
part
yeah.
was
In the
clear.
the answer that I came to in conclusion
Oh, boy. What a voice.
was, I drove away and I never looked back. And then I looked back and I drove back to the event and I went into full custody. And then I escaped from prison. And now I'm back, baby. So think about that.
Yeah,
But
no.
never tell.
And
But if
there-
you hit them, then tell.
Yeah, no. It's,
It's difficult.
Parade,
Yeah.
parade.
it's hard to
Decipher?
to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, entirely. But I really like that. Thank you, Alfredo, for that.
God, dude.
I really wish that I didn't even ever hear that.
I just hear loud screeching and
feel like
the
we're an
odd,
accomplice
awful,
now.
terrible.
The voice was shocking to me.
It's shrilling. It's shrilling.
that. You talk to me like a shrine.
What accent is that? Because it seems to kind of
Corinthian
flow.
parables 3-2.
Like a parentheses. It's Corinthian. It's apostrophe. All of my soups have gone dry. Help humbly dash bongo. What do you think, Alfredo? What do you got?
Once again, the soup. Oh, it's always a soup. Man, I'm a usurper. I usurp the money from the country. I take it to Wales. We talk longs.
Thank you, Alfredo.
You say talk loans?
Talking
We talk about
loud.
loans. We talk
Lungs?
about.
You talk
we
about lungs?
No, we talk about loans.
Oh, loans. Oh,
You
loans.
smiley mind.
Have you gotten a loan before, Alfredo?
I take loans.
voice.
Have you taken a loan before or gotten a loan out from a bank, Alfredo?
I take loans daily.
Really?
So many loans. My credit is fucked.
What's your credit score at?
800,000.
Oh, he
That's
doesn't know
very-
how loans work.
Yeah, I don't think
My
he
loan,
knows.
I took a loan for $21. I took a loan. I took the time. Mine over matter.
Yeah. I like that. I like to end sentences
yeah,
with
yeah.
just the
A
phrases.
pleasant idiom.
Thank you,
Plus an
Alfredo.
idiot.
Do you feel like you are? Do you have a plan to get out of this kind of financial crisis that you're in? Is working here part of that kind of like blueprint? Or
No, I'm not going to pay it. I just take the money. I take the money. I don't pay it back. They never find me, and if they do, joke's on me.
Where'd you guys find this guy?
Literally, he just showed up. I think didn't James know? I think James knew him from
okay.
somewhere.
No, I knew him.
Oh, you knew him.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
he
no,
has
don't
82
blame that
Social
on me.
Security numbers.
Good God! And you took 4 of them.
No, I didn't take any of his social security numbers. I hired him because he seems like he can do work for us that other people couldn't.
What is he doing,
Never
dude?
get caught.
All those Rooster Teeth signups come from those social security.
I don't know, but good God!
I don't think you have to put your
should be
social in when you sign up for Rooster Teeth.
Oh,
And if you
well,
did,
I don't
sign
know
up
what
for
I've been
Rooster Teeth
signing up
first.
for. What?
Can we have the next question,
Absolutely.
please, Alfredo?
You know
This
what's
needs to be
really, annoying to me? You know, like the random people on the street, they were like, "Did you ever sign up to vote?" And they're just like, "Here, fill out all your personal information." I'm like,
Give me
"I'll
your
never
social."
give you my personal information."
No, people outside of things with clipboards are not people I want to
Yep.
talk
like
to.
the DARE program people.
You literally got scammed out of $20 from a.
Oh, I got scammed. We all did.
We got a hat that we throw out of the window.
Turns out drugs are fun.
Yeah.
You can edit that out if you want. No, just kidding. You can
No.
Some of them are really fun. I've only done 2. I am scared of the dark. Please help. Cameron H. Alfredo, what do you think about that? Somebody's scared of the dark. How do you?
Scared of the dark, Alfredo.
It reminds me of when I was 14 years old and I resided at a small pilgrim home called Alabaster Street. When I was afraid of the dark, it's after the first time I saw Tremors on DVD with my whole family. And my mom, she looked at me after the movie was over. I had wetted myself and soiled everywhere. The carpet was bludgeoned with my sperm.
Bludgeoned with my
Bludgeoned with
sperm.
his sperm.
What a funny way to say somebody got pregnant. You know, she was bludgeoned with my sperm.
His mother? How dare you?
His mother. Well, I didn't mean it.
How
I'm
dare
sorry.
he?
Well, who
I
Of
didn't
course I
mean to.
impregnate my mom.
I don't know.
Context.
You know, I'm not trying to. I
No.
wasn't.
Context is
I don't-
everything.
I don't always know say the right
Context
thing.
is everything.
but I
When
like
you're afraid of the dark, turn on the light. And I don't mean physical light. I'm speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Mediterranean.
Do you,
Speaking apostrophe.
do you want to interrupt me?
Astrophilic.
Apostrophe.
Do you want
I'm
to
so
interrupt
sorry.
me, Crid?
Oh, well, you
Do
fucking...
you want to interrupt me, kid?
I'll choke you out again, dude. You want me to grow? Remember when I grew? You see that?
You can't do that anymore.
You'll never be smart again.
Oh, grow. Oh, so goddamn hard.
Oh, more.
Did you finish the?
Well, just to be afraid of the dark is natural. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of bees, potty water, the smell of old feet,
Uh-huh.
Siamese twins easily.
Both
I'm
easily, I
afraid
agree.
of lepers,
Yeah.
leprechauns,
Yep.
Brian Leopold,
Both normal feels, but Brian Leopold's
leopards, lesbians.
better. That one is weird.
Lesbians.
I was like, what's the next one? What's the lep? What was your first impression when you met Elliott? Elliott.
So now,
That's for
essentially.
me. That's an all me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very smart one. I like the way your eyes are switching spites. There's sprites everywhere. I drink a lot of Sprite and it gets carbonated in me. And then when I burp, it's like the world is ending. And when the world ends in my head, all I can ever think is, wow, it's a good day. But when I first met you, I thought you did a lot of lip service. You always talk.
Lip service.
And I'm looking at you right now, and your glasses look to me like the bottoms of mussels in the ocean, and you rip them out, and you take them south to the southern tip of Argentina. And what you do with in Argentina is when there was a movie I was watching a movie called Starship Troopers,
Great
and they all
movie,
live
yeah.
in Argentina, and then they shot a missile from the bug's back hole.
Get it together,
And then-
Alfredo. You're
I'm talking about
rambling.
Elliott. And Elliott's glasses are off now. And every time that you make a joke, I laugh out of ignorance.
I laugh because I think I'm supposed to. It makes me feel good if I laugh.
Makes me feel like
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mock your voice.
Don't apologize. Just don't ever let it happen again.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Very
not
good.
too keen on
Awkward.
people
Threat.
doing impressions of his voice. Last time I did that, I left with a scar on my left nice back.
What caused it?
Alfredo's claws and tenders.
Tanders.
I have a little dander. It has a mind of itself.
What?
Oh, these are health issues that we'll never
Dander?
get into fully. We'll never fully understand.
And we'll never fully.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
Which, thank you so much, Alfredo. You've really enlightened.
Elliott, do you want to hang out, grab a career?
Grab a career?
Yes, that's what he said.
The best roast ever. Do you want to grab a career by chance? Good stuff.
Bye,
Alfredo.
guys.
Very good, Alfredo.
Very good, Alfredo. Yeah, really good stuff. Thank you.
Holy dude.
What a pleasure.
Hurts the brain to listen to him talk.
And on that note, I think we're going to skip to another mid-roll, and then we'll finish up the podcast with a more beautiful note, a more like
Beautiful.
a nice little summer sausage.
I'm not.
Let's make a summer song.
Let's watch Sausage Fest
Yeah,
tonight.
you know what? We'll end the show on a nice song.
Okay. That sounds
We'll
nice.
all make our own song.
It's really nice to have John Ridlinger in here with
Nice
us.
job, Bateman.
John
You,
Rimlicker.
Ooh, nice. That's
Yes, dude.
That's
Got
to
him
you,
good.
Jenny.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say something funny during that, and then you just got belted.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You got comedy block.
You got
bro.
heckled, dude.
We've talked about that maybe 10 times, but like, fuck, we wish we had heard what Elliot had to say, but then John just cut
It
you
was
off.
so funny.
It was still funny,
It
him
was
cutting
funny,
you
yeah.
off, but
I
like,
felt bad. I didn't want to
No.
hijack it, but I also was just
We needed you to hijack
Your
it for it
character
to
would
be
have been
funny.
so great.
I was wanting to do.
John
You
was
were actually
very,
the
very
star.
drunk, though, so that's his
So
Oh, it was John's?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I didn't know if he wanted to talk. I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I wanted to tell a story about just the sleeping arrangement and the slumber party element of it because I thought that was a fun tale. But
Oh, maybe that's something we can talk
It was a
about right
fun
now,
time.
actually, before we
Oh
we go.
my gosh,
So
yeah.
when we were shooting the woods, we all shared a room. And when the lights go off, I think a lot of bad things happen.
Ooh,
I mean, and
it's my
specifically in the
favorite.
past when we were in hotels in Austin, when we were all sleeping in the same fucking bed, it was pitch black, and then suddenly, just close your eyes, whoever's
Want me to
watching
do
this.
it? Turn
Yeah,
the-
just
turn
close.
the- just
Everybody,
turn-
close your eyes.
just
who's-
make the
who's
screen
watching
black.
this. Just imagine a bunch of dudes sleeping in the same room together, and it's pitch black, and this is all you hear just in the middle of the night after like breaking through the silence.
oh yeah, you guys did do that a good amount.
So
Several
that's
times too
very
many.
funny to us right now, but
I
I'm
thought it was
sure
pretty funny.
people watching are just gonna be like,
I've never heard
Great.
Steve laugh so hard.
dude, because in the
Texas.
middle of the night, it's just like you're just sitting there, and then you're trying to sleep, and then suddenly it's just very silent.
There's nothing not funny about
And
it.
then the
That's
pause?
pure, just like
Just picturing Kib like rubbing his
shit
ass
out
and
of
eating
his
his shit.
with no regard for anybody caring or hearing them do
so
it.
loud. I didn't try to hide it.
You did do that, or somebody did that.
Picked their ass and ate it?
No, that
the
made
joke.
made the joke.
I probably did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a me original.
Well,
That
that was
whole-
like after 20 hours of shooting, and I think everyone was loopy. And then the moment I got there, it was like, so you guys have whiskey? We're gonna have whiskey. There's
Fuck
whiskey.
yeah, we did,
And then,
dude.
yeah, it was fun. But then towards the end of the day, everyone was tired, and it makes it goofy and fun.
Yeah.
and loopy.
Yeah,
So-
there's a point of no return when you're tired where everything's funny.
Yeah.
And this was just amplified.
Yeah, you're just loony. It's fun. Yeah.
I wanted to kill myself the night Steve was whispering a story into James's ear.
I wish you would have just ended there. I wanted to kill myself.
But I didn't.
So thank you guys
Steve was
actually
whispering a story. I'm going to tell this first. Just whispering, like, absolute nonsense story for no joke. Between 20 and 40 minutes
Yep.
straight when we were actually trying to sleep. And
No,
it wasn't,
Steve and I had a hard time
wasn't
falling
even
asleep.
funny at that point.
Yes, it was.
No, absolutely
I kept
not.
laughing, so
Only to
your
you, and you
opinion.
were barely laughing.
I was listening.
Dude, you were
Intently.
laughing hard.
Not
The funniest
that
thing,
hard.
no. Here's the
Not that
funniest.
hard
Here's
at
the
all.
funniest part of that story. That how it ended when because it was
Mars?
it turned into some like sci-fi story of James Cameron heading a ship that was like colonizing Mars. Yeah, and it ended up like he had like his wife like left him or something, and he found a new girlfriend or whatever. And then Steve's like, and she had a and she.
yeah, this is a lot like what it was like.
And he was like, and she had his new girlfriend, and her name was Margaret, and she had no ass, but she knew how to use it. Barely.
Yeah, I think I specifically remember that because I was like,
repeated that,
I
yeah.
was sharing the bed with Devin, and it was a single bed, and then who I had never met, and I just remember hearing that. I think I specifically remember that line. I remember laughing and thinking it was pretty funny. But I did, yeah.
At one point, I was like, guys, for the love of God, please just shut up. We're all trying to sleep. It was so late. We had to get up so early. Wasn't worth it.
And then like 30 minutes later, it just
Devin-
was still going, and Devin's just like, guys, shut the fuck
Shut
up.
the fuck up, okay? And then you shut up. And I was like,
So it
takes
was like Devin's the only one here that could beat me up easily.
Yeah, my friend thought I was like,
Everyone else would have somewhat of a struggle.
not a chance. I would
You think
destroy
you
I
you.
could
took
get in a
MMA
fight?
for 4 years.
Do you want to test that
You
right
took
now?
what
I'll
for 4 years?
destroy you.
No, that's what he's always says. I took MMA for 4 years.
I don't always say that.
Kid,
You
could not-
always say
First
that.
off,
Did you really?
you could not ever outrun me.
Yes, I could.
You stupid bitch.
You wanna
You're a
raise-
dumb
Do
bitch.
you want me to attack you right now and just murder you?
I mean, running around the office isn't like a good.
Oh,
form of-
I'm so scared.
I'll be easily able to run out of the office quicker than you can catch me here.
And bench,
You're on that side of the desk, there's a back door.
Coach benched me, and I watched all my friends play, throwing the ball around. The guy just said, "It's all because I killed that girl's dog."
So there's another thing that we were doing late at night. But
Except
that's
that wasn't the joke.
no, that's
I did that
it
on
goes
a
much
PG.
darker than that, and it's not
Yeah.
even worth getting into. But it's about rape. So
Just a fun little teaser
And
for
plus all
people.
the farting.
oh
Really
yeah, all the
way to
farting was
God.
Put a
tremendous.
carrot in front of them. Not just this is what's about rape. You know, not gonna have
But that's a dangerous subject, not only to have touched in the past, but especially lately. So it's something that just is under wraps, and it's not particularly that funny.
I truly
That's what
find
people want to hear about rape. They want to hear that it's under wraps and not funny. That no one's talking about it. That's what they want. That's what's in right now. Don't mention it.
Don't talk
bring
about
it
rape.
up. Yeah.
Bring
if you
it
see
up,
something, don't say something.
Yeah, that's the rule. That's what everyone says.
That's what it says,
Twitter
right?
says right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we end this with a beautiful little song, a little piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at me, fuck on me. Look at me, fuck on me. You stupid little bitch, just look at me and fuck on me. That was just
Truly tremendously awful.
I enjoyed it.
I'm sorry.
I'm not good at that. Other people can do that. That's not a skill I have. I have
What?
no singing or rhythm capabilities
I think
whatsoever.
if you gave it a shot, you could.
I think it's a part of myself that I can't let go. I have a hard time
You can't
giving
allow
in,
yourself
giving
to.
myself over
You
to
can't
the
allow
music.
yourself
I can't
to.
allow
You know what you should do?
it.
You should
Can't
freestyle.
allow himself.
Yeah?
freestyle right now.
You were just
can't
saying you can rap.
allow-
Is that true?
He can't allow
I could never freestyle
himself
until I was
to.
drunk.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
God damn it was good. I'll tell you.
Alcohol helps a lot. Can you freestyle at all? Can you do that? Can you really rap? Can you do something for me? Something?
I put up a freestyle every Friday
Do you really?
Yeah.
On what?
on Twitter.
I should follow you.
Are you not? Yeah, we're doing the podcast. We're having a blast. Just look at that ass. Yeah, it's Elliott. Looking at him, smiling and smelling it. Oh my God, look at his dick. It's pretty swell. Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed by the smell. And it's going in me like a well. And my dick is pretty big right now because I'm seeing Elliott. Man, we're gonna fuck like cows. I'm getting on him. He's getting on me. Spraying milk everywhere. I can't even see. Oh my God, look at his phone. He is gonna film this. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking guilt him. I'm gonna guilt trip Elliott.
So thank you guys for watching. That's been episode 13. God, I hope so. Otherwise, it's fucked. Of the Beyond the Pine.
This is the symbol for 13.